Hi trader, Elite Currency here. My name is Chris and today's video is on the weekly Forex market, taking a look specifically at the dollar and the Japanese yen. Let's kick off this video with the euro dollar monthly chart, and last month, of course, July, strong bullish candle. Look at the close near the high, and I think that this candle, this current month, August, could see a retracement of that, probably to the 50 fib, and then a continuation up to the minus 272 target at 120. Let me zoom in. Of course, you see the downtrend here, but a strong momentum at this moment. We'll zoom into this part. You can see these bullish candles, I think, specifically last month, will not stop soon, I think. Definitely, a continuation to 120 is likely in my view. And I think a retracement about halfway that candle, maybe the 38.2 fib, are likely bouncing spots for that continuation. That's around 116, 115.75 to be precise, and 116.40. So somewhere in there, max 115, I think, 61.8 fib are likely retracements. Of course, the break of the candle low is not something I expect. So this is basically the long-term picture. If you zoom into the weekly chart, 2 weeks ago we had a big wick and there was a bit of bearish retracement because of that, but ultimately the candle did close bullish. So that is not much of a retracement signal. Monthly, as I said, I do expect a bit more retracement. The weekly is not showing that, although it's not a strong signal for upside either. Let's zoom into the daily chart and you can see that this is day number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that hasn't broken this high, which means in that case that this particular swing to the upside is taking a pause. So if I put the fib from the very top, the very bottom to the very top like this on the daily chart, all right, because this particular swing is taking a pause. We can even use this bottom, in fact, all right, because this is the main swing. You can see that from this point of view, although the weekly chart is, the weekly candle is not looking that weak, I do think that later this week there's a chance that there could be a bigger retracement in an ABC correction like this, back to the 38.2 fib and the long-term moving average, the short-term moving average on the daily chart, and maybe even extend towards that 50 fib. This is a time pattern. The 7th day not breaking this high is indicating weakness. So that could be a hook back. This could explain the hook back for one more push lower, and then I would expect the bullish bounce up to 120. On a 4-hour chart, some supportive factors are the divergence between these tops. All right, that's one thing. So from that point of view, when there's divergence like that visible on the 4-hour chart, what I often do is also put a fib from here to here, which is probably the first move down. This could be considered a wave A for those that like waves, and this is a B, and I expect a C to the downside. And if we put back the main fib from here to here, you can see there's confluence between the minus 272 target and the 38.2 fib, and the minus 61.8 target and the 50 fib, roughly speaking. So let's keep with this fib. Another supporting factor besides the divergence on the 4-hour chart is that there were 5 waves completed on the 1-hour chart. Last week talked about that this particular correction is probably wave 4 and price should make one more push down towards 117. That indeed occurred, and you can see a 5 wave. Very simply, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Within 5 there were 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is probably at the moment an A, B, C correction. Within the C, there are also 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I still want to see with the open of the week how price is moving on the euro dollar, but I think that this is a bearish resistance zone. All right, in my view, price might still make it a little bit of a move up to the 78 or 88.6 fib. It could retest these fibs deeply. That it doesn't have to stop here at the 61.8 fib. So it depends a bit on price action. If it's making a bull flag, I think there's a chance that price might make that move up, but I would be looking for a bounce in this zone. Or if price starts to move down a bit faster like this and then starts to make a bear flag, then I think it's actually setting itself up for an immediate follow through to the downside. Pound dollar, very quickly, is looking the same like the euro dollar. I think that from this point of view, this is a bearish momentum, and I think that price might make a retracement, so we could put a fib on this particular swing. And if we look at the daily chart, we will see the potential, I think, for a head and shoulders as well, like this, a reversal pattern. So we could put a line like this here, and you can see that that might play out as well. The neckline, of course, is this line right here. That's the connecting the left and the right shoulder. Actually, I should do it like this. All right, like that. But of course, this level is also important. It is double bottom right here, or I should say 2 support levels, right, at around 129.30. So a move up towards the 61.50 fib and this particular resistance spot, make a head and shoulders, I think could happen on the pound. That's what I'm waiting for. And on the 4-hour chart, you see besides the head and shoulders, you see a resistance zone here, momentum, sideways momentum. That could be an additional reason why price might use that part or zone as a resistance spot. On the 1-hour chart, you can see the potential for perhaps a little bit of a hook back first within this range, and I wouldn't be surprised if price then bounces up there and then starts to move down. That, I think, is the path of least resistance. Or, for whatever reason, price manages to break below 129.30, I would reanalyze it and see if there's any continuation trades possible on the pound dollar. In that case, there could be an extension. I would probably put a fib from here to here, and there could be an extension down to 128, 128.70, 127.50. Now, besides the US dollar, just general analysis, I want to take a look at some SWOT setups that, or not setups, but trending currency pairs that look the most interesting from a SWOT perspective. Keep in mind, though, that this is analysis. The signals, the triggers, the entries still need to be done with SWOT. So, and they might not develop, they might develop. It depends how price action will work out. But generally speaking, when looking at SWOT, I think the yen weakness, I should say yen strength, in fact, the dollar yen downside, to be precise, is looking interesting. You can see here that the dollar yen is below the 3rd level, but hasn't reached the 4th level fully. So I think that if price makes a bit of retracement here, hits the 4th level, the 3rd level like this, 109.40, 109.50, and then turns, I think that could be an interesting move down to 108.50. With the New Zealand yen and the pound yen, it's pretty similar. Here too, price is in a very good downtrend, just like the dollar yen. Price is breaking below the 3rd level. The pound yen has already broken below the 5th level, which means there's space down to the 6th level, which is 140.70. And I think that if there's a good candle, a good trigger candle on the SWOT, that there could be an extension on this pound yen and the New Zealand yen. Same thing, because here with the New Zealand yen, good downtrend yet again, also hitting the 5th level, and who knows, maybe even extension all the way to the 6th. The New Zealand yen still needs to prove itself a bit more than the pound yen and the dollar yen, because it did stop at the 5th level, but still something that is on my radar. And also the Kiwi. The Kiwi too, you can see here, very close to being invalidated, because if price hits 73.35, the trend is reset. But if it stays below that and starts to move down like this, for instance, and then makes a bear flag and continues, also the dollar the New Zealand dollar is interesting, down to 72.20, and perhaps even an extension down to 70.70. So those are interesting currency pairs. They're more on the list as well, but that's just a quick overview of the space and trend that I see on SWOT. Of course, still waiting for the confirmation and trigger. For more free information and tools and methods, just go to elitecurrency.com. We have a free starting package there. And if you like this video, please share, like, and subscribe. Wish you all great trading. Cheers.